It's another edition of Engineering and You, where we bring to you engineering in all perspective, where it started, where it is, and where it's going to be in the near future. And also to make sure that young Nigerians are interested in the field of engineering, they take up fields of engineering and become an engineer in the near future. My name is Tunde Olaniro, your regular anchor on this program, Engineering and You, and because it's a very interactive one, we are not only going to be talking to you, but you get to talk to us as usual. In case you are familiar with it, and in case you are watching for the very first time, I will give the question for the day, and you will get to answer. The program is sponsored by Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon, FNSC, and proudly supported by the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abeokuta branch. And the gifts also will be coming to you courtesy of the sponsor, who is a lover of engineering and wants young people to venture into engineering. And our question for the day is, locally produced soap in which wood ash is used as base is usually sifted because the wood ash contains a lot of what? The question is on your screen right now, and if you know the answer, you can pick up your phone and call, or go to our Facebook page at Ogtv, YouTube at Ogtv Abeokuta, and Instagram at Ogun State Television. My guest is already here, though not physically, but virtually, and is going to be taking us on engineering as a career, the pros and cons. But we'll take this very short break. When we return, I will disclose to you who my guest is. Welcome back. My guest for today is Engineer James Oluniyi AKANMU, PhD, FNSC. James was born on October 25th of March 1965, a holder of Bachelor's of Science degree from University of Ibadan, coupled with Master's and PhD from University of Lagos. He worked in both private and public entities and has been a faculty member in the Civil and Environmental Engineering of the University of Lagos for over 2 decades. He is a registered engineer with Council of Registration of Engineering in Nigeria, current a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, among others. Currently professorial cadre staff in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, University of Lagos, and the Director of Sustainable Procurement, Environmental and Social Standard Center of Excellence at the University of Lagos. He was at the Bureau of Procurement as the Head of Research, Training and Strategic Planning while on sabbatical leave in 2010 and later on leave of absence from the University of Lagos. Dr. AKANMU is a lead resource person in water resource and environmental engineering, public procurement to international bodies, several procuring entities of federal and state governments. He has also served in the same capacity in some states of the Federation. I can go on and on. His profile is so rich, and that is why he's on this program, Engineering and You. Welcome to this program, sir, Engineer AKANMU.
Thank you.
Can you hear us, sir?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
You are welcome, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. So you can please go ahead with the topic of discourse this evening: engineering as a career, the pros and cons.
Okay, thank you. Engineering as a career, the pros and cons. To go into this lecture or this discussion, I will share some things on the screen for my audience to actually be seen. To know what engineering is all about, how do we do, and who's actually an engineer and members of engineering family. On that note, I will put my paper discussion my audience can see this now as the paper itself. Then what engineering solve? And who's an engineer? Engineering is all this process that involve the art, science, and technology that involve in planning, designing, construction or fabrication, operation of such a system, maintenance, and future research to make lives better. And what does engineer do? They make it work better. Engineers use their imagination and analytical skill to design and build things that matter. Engineers are team players, and they develop a better system to protect the environment. Engineers create cutting-edge special effects for the movies. And the program we now, I'm not in Abeokuta. I'm almost 1,000 kilometers away from Abeokuta. That's the effect of engineering, the engineers, and members of the engineering family. We do this through creative and practical solutions to change the world all the time. We actually make it more efficient using new technology. Engineers find a sustainable solution for a sustainable world. We are logical thinkers as engineers. We have eye for details. We are creative problem solver. If you're looking for somebody who will solve the problem, look for an engineer. We help in shaping the future and make a difference in the world we live in. It's all about idea, standard test, reality. You redesign. You can make things change. You can change things again to make it better. You want to be in this profession, want to solve the problem of the world. Engineering is a career to choose. There are several fields in engineering. I cannot touch all of them. When you think about this world, you look at your transportation system, whether by air, whether by road, which is land, or by water. Engineers are involved. The aerospace, the aircraft, are the work of engineers. Your rail line, the train you are talking about, are the works of engineers. The road pass through are the work of the engineers. Colleagues, friends, our listeners, the water you drink at home that you say is good for you to drink, and the work that engineers actually contributed to. That pipe, that are the work of engineers. Many of you are holding your phone now. There are a lot of programs by computer engineers, electronics engineers that have worked on. What about the lifts to go to the 28th floor? That 48th floor you are going to. These are part of the mechanical work. Productions, these are part of mechanical work. Civil engineering cooler is wide. You're talking about soil, you're talking about dam, you're talking about rail, you're talking about environment, solid waste management. They are all involved. Biomedical engineering, system engineering, and so many others are there to solve the world problem. Where can you work if you actually choose to be an engineer? You could be a researcher. You could find your radio station, television station. You could be a teacher. You could be a designer, a consultant, you could even be a military man. At least I know some engineers who rose to the rank of general in this country and also outside the country. You can also be the president of the country. You can also become an actor you so choose, because engineering gives you all the opportunities. You are the one that's in the industry to make industry work. You choose engineering as a profession. To let you know, even the United States of America always claim is developed. We have had the president who have engineering degree, both at the first and as an president. So why not choose engineering? Why not be there? In our own country, Ogun State in particular, we are to have our Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who has not only been a general in the military, but head of state. He became the president of this country. Why not choose that profession? Why not be part of those solving group? About Macaulay, that we see on your money, these are the great engineers Nigeria has produced, and so many who are actually current. You mentioned Kayem Shilon here. These are people who are practicing engineering, and they are proud to be in that. I'm also proud to be there. Why do you want to be there and be part of the family? You want to actually make the environment good, sustainable environment. You want to actually travel around the world. You want to solve the problem. You want to actually demonstrate your practical skill to actually make the world better. You want to actually create the world peace. And once you choose engineering as a profession, any field, you are contributing to a problem. What do you really need, especially for my younger ones? You are dreaming of in that area. If you pursue a degree in engineering, you will need to have basic knowledge in sciences, particularly mathematics, physics, chemistry. These are science that will make you feel happy. You can really feel what you are doing. They are not abstract in nature. They are the reality. You'll be good in algebra, calculus, physics, biology. If you want to become a biomedical engineer, you want to design things that will actually be solving health issues. You cannot compromise any of those. So please don't go in your languages. English language you use in the country, around the world, the other languages you need to learn so that you can actually solve a part of the world problem solver. Engineering we speak in our drawing, whether you do a German from Chinese and so on, that drawing, once it's labeled, a good engineer will be able to read it. In conclusion, our dear listener, if you want to stay with a person, I say just choose another profession, like probably my uncle. Choose another profession. If you want to save the world, their colleagues, friends, try just become an engineer. The world will be saved. I want to press my case here to move further. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, Engineer AKANMU. If you want to save the world, choose another profession. If you want to save a person, choose another profession. I want to save the world, choose engineering. I want to ask, personally, you are into civil and environmental engineering, if I'm correct.
Yes, very correct.
Yes, I am. Environmental engineering is really, really not popular. What is it all about?
Great. First thing is, from your home, ask yourself whether that environment is neat. You've been hearing about climate change. All those vehicles you drive up and down emit certain gases, carbon monoxide, CO, carbon dioxide, and so on that you breathe. The solid waste management that actually fill up when cities that lead to disease and sickness are part of environmental engineering. You want to see what they call air pollution, soil pollution. These are the work of environmental engineer. And these are the one the world is looking for now. Back when COVID-19 came, these are the people who will tell you appropriate environment, the temperature, that you actually will be suitable for you to be. An environmental engineer will not only talk in managing solid waste, you will manage waste water.
All right, so we have a caller, Grace from Mowe. I'll get back to you, Engineer AKANMU. Grace, how are you doing this evening rather?
My name is not Grace.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Glory. I'm here to answer.
Okay, Glory. All right, go ahead and answer the question.
The answer to the question is calcium carbon.
All right, I'll let you know, Glory, if you are correct or not. Keep watching Engineering and You.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. So, Engineer AKANMU, let me come back to you. You were explaining to us what environmental engineering is all about.
Yes. So I was trying to let you know that wastewater from your toilets is environmental engineer that will give appropriate design that will make it not to cause disease and problem for the environment. That's the fact we are looking at, as little as it is, and environmental engineer is the one. You go to industry, the pollution from the industry, either from the waste of production, is one of those things an environmental engineer will look. Environmental will feel care about safety.
All right, engineer, we have another caller again. Victoria from Lagos. I'm sorry for cutting you short. These are the people that are young Nigerians. Victoria, how are you doing? How is Lagos today? Hello, Victoria. All right, we lost Victoria there. Please, you can continue, Engineer AKANMU.
Yeah. So, if you want, like I said earlier, you want to save the world, that's one of the fields you should go to, environmental engineering. It's all about environment. And environment is encompassing. Like I said earlier, from your climate change, is the same person that will be present in the water, will be present in the heat, and will be present on the land. So that's one of the elements, part of the elements of being an environmental engineer in practice.
All right, there is this research that was carried out about carbonation of construction work, especially constructing buildings and civil construction generally. How can we reduce this carbonation so that it will not affect engineering? But before we go, let's take this call. Great from Mowe. Hello, Great.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I want to answer the question.
Please go ahead.
The answer to the question is calcium carbonate.
Calcium carbonate. All right. Keep watching, Great. I'll let you know if you are correct or not. Thank you so much for watching and for calling. All right, Engineer AKANMU, I'm asking about reducing carbonation in the site, in the engineering site. Is it possible to do that?
Yes, it's very possible. When I was telling you about environmental engineering itself. Now, there are some gases that release the cost of engineering work. I'll give you a typical example. When there's road construction that has got to do with hard material, soil in particular, or during the dry season, there's a lot of dust coming up. In industry, they generate some of these gases. Go back to look at your generator at home. Certain things are coming out from it. There are designs that can trap those carbon and other oxide that you're talking about in the system, as only the engineers that could design, construct, fabricate such system. So it's very, very possible. Like I told you earlier, major function of an engineer is to solve any problem that comes his way. One of the major things is we do detailed analysis. We don't just go into it and say this is the solution. Then you make, like you say, carbonation. Okay, what kind of carbon? What is CO, TCO, carbon monoxide, CO2? That is in that system that need to trap because I thought it's becoming too much and it's not good for the human health. Don't forget my word. You want to save the world, become an engineer. If you want to save one person, dear colleague friends, just choose another profession. I can assure you, I don't want to mention any profession. Somebody will go to the court only to defend that client. But an engineer serves as expert witness to that building that is collapsed. You remember when the building collapsed in Lagos, only you know how many lives were lost immediately. If you take contaminated water, you know how many jobs go. An engineer is there to ensure that water is not contaminated. So remove contamination in the working environment, even the environment itself, it is very possible using engineering knowledge. Thank you.
All right, sir. Is it possible to study engineering maybe at first degree level and go ahead and venture into other fields aside from engineering? And also, is it possible to venture into other fields in your first degree and come back to study engineering as a lecturer and as a teacher? Is it possible?
The first scenario you created is very, very possible. I'm proud to say one of my own classmates in the university, aside from many of them, after finishing the first degree in engineering, most of them fell into accountancy. Within 2 years, they had the so-called professional exams. But it's not possible for an accountant or a lawyer to venture into engineering. I think within 2 years, we want to know it. One of them, with all honor, became the...
All right, AKANMU, I'd like to hold your thoughts there. I have a caller. Emanuela is calling up from Lagos. Hello, Emanuela.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Emanuela. How are you doing today? How's Lagos?
Fine, thank you, sir.
All right, you want to ask my guest a question or you want to answer our question?
I want to answer the question.
All right, please go ahead, very fast.
The answer is sodium ion.
Is what?
Sodium ion.
All right, I'll let you know if you are correct. Thank you so much for calling, Emanuela.
Yes.
All right, please, Engineer AKANMU, I'm sorry for holding you. We have to take that call. Please go ahead.
We are here because of them.
Yes.
Of them.
Exactly.
I'm enjoying it too. So, like I was saying, it is easy, very, very easy for an engineer to change any other profession. It is very, very easy to study law, to become an accountant, to become a banker, you want to become a medical doctor. Because don't forget that science background have been issue. But it's not too easy from the other side. Say you history, political science, want to become an engineer. One of the first things is those divide the equations, those drawing. But it's not that so that is difficult. They can come back once they bend down and get it. I was trying to tell you earlier, one of my own classmates became MD of Central Bank, Ghana, a first degree in engineering, mechanical precisely. I'm a teacher, like you said. I've ventured to many other fields in my practice. But at a point, people don't even see me to be an engineer along the line because I was so much into those areas I was working. I can give you a typical example. Who is leading the World Bank procurement today is a simple. But many will know that background actually gives them the opportunity. It's very easy for an engineer to move to any field.
All right.
We have to solve the problem.
All right, Engineer AKANMU, lastly, we are rounding off. How much money is in engineering if you go to study engineering? How lucrative is engineering?
Sincerely, around the world, engineering is lucrative. But in our own program, sometimes it looks like, is it a course for you to have studied this? If you go back from your secondary school, you take the best student in science to find them science classes. Take the best in science to say you want to study engineering or medicine. So when you finish, the money is there. When you use intellect appropriately, when you can create, when you can innovate, there is so much money. You may not really earn direct from working for somebody and other, but when you create, innovate, bring your idea, my dear brother, that big money in engineering. Thank you.
All right, Engineer Dr. James AKANMU, thank you so much for joining us on this week's edition of Engineering and You. We really appreciate you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's my honor to join you.
We have to draw the curtain at this point. Our time is up. I want to say a big thank you to our sponsor, Prince Engineer Yemiti Shilon, FNSC, for doing the good work as you are doing, sponsoring this program every day, every week, every quarter. Thank you so much for sponsorship. And we have to go. No one got our answer correctly. Their answer to the question is potassium ion. But the question for the week is another opportunity for you. And the question for the week says, how many carbon atoms are in benzene ring? How many carbon atoms are in benzene ring? If you know the answer, you can join us on the social media platform at Ogtv for Facebook and at Ogtv Television for your Instagram. We have to go now. Our time is up. Thank you so much for watching. Next week is another time. We'll bring you another guest to discuss another interesting edition. Until then, my name is Sunala Niro, and I'm saying bye-bye.